stand corrected.
Yeah, so next year you're gonna count as a write-off.
That's what Durant did, by the way. It was impacted. Durant's the greatest recovery for a basketball player of Achilles in the history of the sport.
Absolutely.
And if you remember, and it was impacted by COVID, he had the injury in June of 2019. He didn't come back until December of 2020. So he gave it a whole year plus. And so if he's the model, I think that's an interesting thing to contemplate.
Absolutely. All right, looking at what's happening right now, guys, on the Knicks side of things, where yesterday Big Perk had this to say about their title chances.
Matter of fact, the Knicks, after they close this series out, they going to the NBA Finals. Now, I think Indiana's going to push them to 7 games. Look, they going to the NBA Finals, man. Once they close out the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks are headed to the NBA Championship. And I'm going to take it a step further. I wouldn't be surprised if they win it all, to be honest with you.
If they win it all. Okay. Stephen A., what chance do you give New York to win it all?
I think this is the best chance that the New York Knicks had of winning the championship in over 30 years when they went to the finals against Houston. That went 7 games. I love John Starks, always will. But it's hard to me to this day when I see him because 2 for 18, 1 for 11 from three-point range, a championship on the line. I'm a New York Knicks fan. It hurts. We love John Starks, but damn it, it still hurts, okay? Because if he hit some of those shots at Pat Riley and remember that Rolando Blackman was on his bench, you know, that's what you got him for. I mean, don't get me started. Let me digress. Let me just move on because I'm just losing. The memories are just hit me and I'm getting he's healthy. Let's see what happens this go round. And then you look out west, you anticipate that even though the series isn't over, OKC will probably beat Denver. I would have OKC as the favorite. I think Minnesota's going to close out Golden State tonight. I would have Minnesota as a favorite over the New York Knicks. But all of them are beatable. It's not like you're looking at them the way that you looked at Cleveland in 2007 when they went up against Tim Duncan and the Spurs. You knew that wasn't going to be a competitive series. When you saw folks Cleveland going up against Kevin Durant with Clay and Stephen, you knew that wasn't going to be a series, okay? But you look at the Knicks against the Pacers and against either OKC or Minnesota, assuming they both close out their series, you could give the Knicks a chance. I'd give the Knicks a 40% chance of winning either series. Again, I'd have Minnesota and OKC favored over the New York Knicks, and I think the Knicks and the Pacers are a pick'em. But this is the best New York Knicks chance since 1994.
I don't want to be a killjoy because I want New York to experience this. Saturday, the city was alive. That day of the playoff game was alive. I loved being in New York that day. Perk, you can't focus on the Pacers and you can't focus on the finals. They got to beat the Celtics one more time. I'm not saying that they won't. I believe that they will win the series, but this assumption that this series is over, I just think is flawed. I'm not trying to insult the Knicks. I believe in them. They have one more win to get. Stop talking about who they're going to beat in the conference finals. Stop talking about they're going to be in the finals. They've got to win one more game. Then let's have a discussion.
Well, Perk just did that because Perk is salty because, you know, he's a Boston Celtic, won a championship with them, and he's very annoyed at what he saw. That's what that's about.
I would make OKC number 1 right now because I think they will beat Minnesota with the home court. They played pretty well after that first game, and you have to make them a favorite over the Knicks. You have to. I'll put the Knicks number 2, because I would make the Knicks a favorite over Indiana. And Steve made a great point. I'll make this quick on 94, and Steve knows better than anybody. The better Knicks team was 93.
Yes.
That was the best. They won 63 games.
And Jordan.
Hugh Evans made that call on the foul, and then Charles Smith couldn't make the tip in. They should have won that series against the Bulls. That is the best Knicks team that you and I have seen since we've been around.
Absolutely, but that's the problem. See, they went up 2-0 on the Knicks. I'm on the Bulls.
Yeah, they did.
And they ticked off Jordan. You know, and then they won it. And they went. That's right. And Van Gundy talking junk. You know,
especially going down to Atlantic City.
Exactly. And then they was the scandal. Like, oh my goodness, Jordan is gambling. And I'm sitting there, and I'm literally Molly. I'm just getting out of college, and I'm like, will you please shut up? Stop writing these stories. Leave this man alone. Don't tick him off, okay? And that's exactly what they did. They were writing these stories
You don't need an
about him in
inspired
Atlantic
MJ.
City. All right, losing what to him equated to $1. You understand what I'm saying? He making more money, but it equated to $1.
was after 5 o'clock in the morning, but so be it.
All after
Hey.
5 o'clock in the morning. So
Still
what?
showed up.
Kings. They have put together 3 of the most improbable wins in playoff history. And so I'm going to give you 3 stats to show just how unlikely their 3 wins are. Let's start with this one. The Knicks are the first team in NBA history to trail by 9 points or more at halftime in each of the first 4 games of a playoff series. I don't mean of teams that wound up winning. I don't mean of teams that were ahead. I mean, literally, no team has ever been down by more than 9 points at the half of 4 consecutive games to start a series. The Knicks have done that, and they're up 3 games to 1. Here's the second one. We trace these states back to 1988. That's when the stats begin. So the Knicks are the second team with 3 wins after trailing by 14 or more points in any playoff series. The only other team to do it were the 2019 Warriors, who did it in the Western Conference Finals. That's Steph Curry and company and Jalen Brunson and company. And then finally, there have been 4 games played in this series. The Knicks have led for a total of 25 minutes. That is by a wide margin, the least amount of time led by any team that has a lead in a playoff series through 4 games. Now they are incredibly on the brink of their first conference final appearance in 25 years. And as you see, they have done it in the least probable fashion. Bring my guys in here and let's get into this. You know, there's an expression that I've been using since back in the days on the radio. Sometimes you don't find the year finds you. Like these are not things that are supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be losing all these games. They've been leading for 25 minutes. They played 4 games and one of them went to overtime, for crying out loud. So that's whatever it is, 90s. I can't even do the math in my head. They're never ahead of this series and they're winning 3 games to 1. What does that say about these Knicks?
That's why I said this has a magical March Madness-like feel towards it.
Right.
And obviously, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, these guys have been able to win a championship with, Chris Jenkins, one of the biggest shots in college basketball history that's still on NCAA commercials, right? This has that same run feel towards it, and it has that same magic, UD.
I mean, it says to me that they're a connected group of guys. It's a connected locker room. They believe in one another. And also, this is the most battle-tested team in the playoffs that we've seen. Detroit series. Everything they went through during the season, Brunson being hurt towards the end, being 0-10 against the top teams, all that has built this team up to be confident in these situations, and they believe in one another.
Yeah, so, Winman, what are we seeing? You said earlier today, and I don't know why anyone would criticize this, that this series is not over. The Celtics are champions. They still have a ton of great players. But the Knicks they've done things that, candidly, the statistics suggest you're not supposed to do, and they're doing things I didn't think they were capable of. What are you seeing from this group of Knicks?
Well, they're 5-0 on the road in the playoffs, and all 5 wins are by 3 points or less. That right there would be incredible in February, much less in April and May. And they also have seen in this conference, the Cavs are out. Jason Tatum is now out. They are being presented with an opportunity here. You could have great teams that are favored in series and things don't go your way. They have had a little bit of fortune and they have stormed through the door. They have taken advantage of weakness. There was a few moments in the Pistons series where their inexperience showed up. The Knicks grabbed the opportunity by the throat. In this series, the Celtics were shaky. They were especially shaky in these fourth quarters. Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges have grabbed it by the throat. You have to give the Knicks credit for being incredibly mentally strong. I would say that's almost the most impressive thing about them is their mental strength. When they get down by 20, they don't freak out. When they get in clutch situations, they don't freak out. When Jalen Brunson goes to the bench, they don't freak out. They handle their business. I think it's an outgrowth of Brunson. I think it's an outgrowth of Thibodeau, and it's an outgrowth of the confidence this team is developing day by day.
It's worth putting up the full screen, Cindy, and showing New York Knicks are now odds-on favorites.
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you liked the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we noticed that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.